Hi guys, welcome to Project Study Buddies. In this chapter, we are going to go through all the basic knowledge that builds your foundation for math. If at the end of the video you are still not quite sure and would like to have more examples or practices, do leave a comment below and we will be more than happy to help you. In IGCSE, it's important to be familiar with the question style, so be sure to practice your past year as well, and never forget to make sure you know every single topic before taking the exams. Same goes for other subjects too. Without further ado, let's get started. Different types of number. So this the table consists of different types of number with definitions and some examples. Something worth mentioning is that odd number is any number that ends with 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Even number is anything that ends with 2, 4, 6, 8, 0. Also, prime number is not odd number. It is whole number greater than 1 and can only be divided by 1 and itself, which means it only has factors of 1 and itself. So 15 cannot be, as it has 1, 3, 5, 15, because 1 times 15 and 3 times 5 both will give you 15. If you are not sure what factor means, don't worry as we will go to it in later slides. Symbols. X less than or equal to 3 means x can be any value equal to 3 or less than 3. So values that fulfill this criteria can be anything like 3, 2, -5, -20, -50, but it cannot be any value more than 3. The other way around, x more than or equal to 3 means x can be any value equal to 3 or more than 3. So possible values of x are 3, 4, 5, 800, so long that anything more than or equal to 3, but it cannot be any value less than 3. X can be any value less than 3, but not equal to 3 or more. X can be more than 3, but not less or equal to 3. Square roots and brackets, we'll talk about it sooner or later. Second subtopic. A multiple of a number is found when you multiply that number by a positive integer. The first multiple of any number is the number itself. To find first multiple, multiply the given value, which is 1 here, by 1. Then second multiple, multiply by 2. Third, multiply by 3, and so on. This is the same for any given value. You just multiply the given value by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Here are some examples you can pause to take a look at it. These are several questions that you can attempt. You can pause the video if you want to, as I will be revealing the answers now. For question 4, just use your calculator. Unless question asks you to show your working, just use your calculator, divide each by 12. And if you don't get a whole number, which is number without decimal point, it's not a multiple of 12. Lowest common multiples. LCM of two or more numbers is the smallest number that is the multiple of all given numbers. For example, multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, and so on. Multiples of 7 are 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, so on. As you can see, there is a common number in both series of multiples, which is 28. Therefore, lowest common multiple is 28. Even if the two given values have common multiples of, let's say, 28 and 140 or something, remember that LCM means the lowest common multiple, so pick the smallest number will do. Some questions, you can try them out. Please pause the video. Factors. A number that divides exactly into another number with no remainder, giving you a whole number. Just find the two whole numbers where their product of multiplication will give you the number that's being asked. So for example, like 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4 would all give you 12. Therefore, factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. Remember to list them in ascending order from smaller to bigger values. Again, some questions. Question 4 is quite an interesting fact about factors because 1 times any number will give you that number. HCF. This together with LCM are quite popular questions in IGCSE past papers. At least they were when I was doing my IGs, but it's better to be careful. So HCF of two or more numbers is the highest number that is a factor of all the given numbers. For example, to find HCF of 8 and 24, just find factors of each number one by one, then look for the common factors. Note that it says highest common factors. So even though there are 3 common factors, the highest common factor is 8. Some questions? For question 2, don't forget the unit. You can easily lose 1 mark if you forgot to present the unit in your final answer. Prime numbers. Before I continue, if you do not understand any point in the video or you wish to have more examples so you get better understanding, you can comment down below and we will be really happy to help you. Prime numbers have exactly 2 factors, 1 and the number itself, as it can be only divided by 1 and itself. And composite numbers have more than 2 factors. Basically, composite and prime numbers are the opposite of each other. Take note that number 1 only has 1 factor, so that it's not prime or composite. You can take a look at this. Please pause the video to read them because it's quite useful actually. Some questions. Prime factors. Factors of a number that are also prime numbers. 2 ways to find prime factors. Factor tree, division. Using a factor tree, write the number as 2 factors. For 36, you can do it with 3 times 12, 4 times 9, 6 times 6, as long as you remember to split them until you are left with all prime numbers. Stop if the number is prime number. Continue splitting if it's a composite number. Keep repeating until you are left with all prime numbers. Write the number in ascending order with multiply signs, the X sign. Remember that you don't write 2 times 3 only. If you are left with 2, 2, 3, 3, write down all the values. At this point, you might realize that finding prime factors is like dividing the number into its simplest and smallest number. Second way is using a division. Divide the given number by the smallest prime number that can divide the number into an exact whole number. Basically, it means divide by smallest prime factor. Continue dividing and finally stop when a number is divided into 1. Same thing here, write the prime factors in these ascending orders with multiply signs, not comma. Using prime factors to find HCF and LCM by expressing each number as the product of its prime factors, like what we did earlier. So to find LCM of 36 and 50, apologies, I missed the 50 here. First, you express the number as product of prime factors using either way, the division or the factor tree. Then you multiply the largest set of multiples of each prime factors to find LCM. So it means for 36, you got 2 times 2, but 120, that's only 1, 2. So you take 2 times 2 instead of 2 only. But be careful, you do not multiply 2 times 2 times 2 instead. You only take the largest set of one of the given number, not all of the prime factors. Finding HCF of 168 and 180. Same thing, you express each number as a product of prime factors using either way. Then you multiply the common prime factors. Be careful, not 2 times 3, but 2 times 2 times 3. So for LCM, it's multiplying the largest set. For HCF, it's the common factors. You can use the same method to complete this question. Answer is 120 listeners. The fourth subtopic, square numbers and square roots. A number is squared when it is multiplied by itself. For example, square of 5 is 5 times 5, which is 25. Symbol for square is to the power of 2, or we say raised to 2. So 5 to 5 can be written as 5 times 5 raised to 2. So in general, 5 times 5 is 5 power of 2 equals to 25. Square root is like the reverse of squaring a number. So a square root of a number is the number that was multiplied by itself to get the square number. Symbol for it is square root x. 25 equals to 5 raised to 2, so square root 25 is 5. Common application, finding area of square. Cube numbers and cube roots. A number is cubed when it is multiplied by itself twice. So for example, cube of 2 equals to 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. Symbol is to the power of 3, so 2 times 2 times 2 can be written as 2 raised to 3. Cube root of a number is the number that was multiplied by itself to get the cube number. So symbol for it is cube root x. So for example, x equals to 2 raised to 3, so cube root 8 is 2. Common application, finding volume of cube. So for example, a cube has volume of 1000 cm cube. To find its length, height, or width, you will know it's 10 because cube root of 1000 is 10. You can use your calculator to solve square or square root, cube or cube root by pressing these keys. Please pause the video and grab your calculator to try it out. Or, if required by the question or you do not have a calculator, you can find by grouping the prime factors into pairs of trees or trees, multiply one of the same number of each pairs or trees to get the square root or cube root of the given number. It's recommended that you recognize squares of all integers between 1 and 20 inclusive. It will be really helpful. Be careful about the difference of the question format. Root 36 plus root 64 is different from root of 36 plus 64, which is root 100, giving you 10. Root 36 plus root 64 gives you 6 plus 4, which is 14. Recognize the difference for the rest two examples, C, D, and E, F. Directed numbers are numbers with direction, like in physics, speed vs velocity, where velocity is magnitude with direction and speed is just the magnitude. There's two directions, positive or negative. Negative signs indicates that a value is less than 0, while positive indicates more than 0. If up is positive, down is negative, so it's the same for left, right, north, south. Some real-life application, temperature, altitude, depth below sea level, profit gain or loss, direction. Some questions for you to attempt and the answers. More questions. Remember, the more negative the number, the smaller it is. The more positive, the bigger the value. Please post and attempt these questions. Order of operations is like the basic rules of doing math. Complete operations in grouping symbols first. I will show you the different grouping symbols in next slide. Next, do division and multiplication, working from left to right. Lastly, addition and subtraction from left to right. So basically, you solve the bracket, solve multiplication or division from left to right. Lastly, addition or subtraction from left to right. Different forms of grouping symbols. The second bracket at the right-hand side is usually used when another bracket is inside that bracket. Anyways, you'll see this question in question C in the next slide. For fraction bars, it's like the upper set, the numerator, divided by lower set, the denominator. Root signs, bracket, it means bracket 9 plus 16 whole thing raised to half or to the power of half. Oh yes, and something to add on here, square root is also something power to half. Cube root is to the power of 1 over 3. So you just reverse the numerator and denominator, 2 over 1 and 1 over 2. When you square or cube a number, you raise or you make it to the power of 2 over 1 or 3 over 1, which is 2 and 3 respectively. If you're gonna square or cube root them, you just reverse and raise to half or 1 over 3. So again, to square a number, power of 2, square root, power of half. Same goes for cube. Raise number to 3, cube root, raise to 1 over 3. So if you're going to make anything power to 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, just make the raise to 1 over the number and you will get the original number. Lastly, powers. 5 power of 2 is 5 times 5, so you do multiplication first, then only you do the rest. Some examples here. Remember the 3-step rule, solve the bracket, multiplication or division left to right, addition, subtraction left to right. Even in a bracket, you follow the second and third step in order as well. Multiplication, division first, addition, subtraction. So question C, there's a bracket in the bracket. Same thing, solve the bracket in the bracket first. As you can see for question B, different ways of question forms give you very different answers. So be careful. Some questions and their answers. Rounding numbers. It's very important in math. You can easily lose 1 mark in many questions if you didn't show your final answer rounded off to the specific degree of accuracy being asked in a question or to the standard that's shown in the cover of your exam paper. 2 types. Give your answer correct to 2 decimal places, 3 significant figures. These are the common ones being asked. First significant figure in a number is the first non-zero digit reading from left to right. The second significant figure is the second digit, it can be 0. Third is the third digit, and so on. So basically it means that, for example, 0.0073, first significant figure is 7 instead of the first 0. To round a number to a stated level of accuracy, you look at the value of the digit to the right of the specified place. Round up if 5 or greater, round down if less than 5. But you be careful, round up the digit in the specified place depending on whether the digit on the right is equal to 5 or greater or less to 5. I repeat, you do not round up the number on the right of the specified place. You round up the one in the specified place, depending on the value of the digit on the right. This is a point where students usually get confused, including myself back then, so please bear this in mind. In many questions, particularly when involving decimals, you might be asked to give an answer to a stated level of accuracy. So usually it depends on questions or on the front cover of your exam paper. Example, round 64.839906 to nearest whole number, 1 decimal place, 3 decimal places, 2 decimal places. Some answers and explanations. Please pause the video. This is about rounding to specific significant figures. The previous slide is about decimal places. Here's the answers and the explanations. More questions so you get really familiar with this. Showing your answer in specific degree of accuracy is really important to keep that 1 mark. So checklist for this chapter. Again, you feel that you don't really understand and would like to have more examples or practices, do leave a comment below and we'll be really happy to help. Anyways, I believe as you practice more questions, you will get familiarized with all this eventually. These are our social media platforms. You can ask us questions here, preferably on Facebook. Twitter is more on IG tips and all. Do follow us on all 3 to receive updates instantly. And ring your bell so you'll be notified on our release. We will be releasing videos on a regular basis, and if you have any questions or suggestions on our speaking speed, details and anything, do let us know down in the comment below. We are currently looking for volunteers to help out with replying to questions on Facebook and making videos like this one. If you are interested, feel free to email us. Personally, I think this will be a really good experience, and especially if you are applying for universities or colleges. So this is Project Study Buddies. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.